the story of humanity is incomplete. It is a tale missing its first, most important chapter. We see faint traces of it, etched into the oldest stones. Scorched lands of Sumer clay tablets speak of gods who descended from the heavens. They were not vengeful deities, they were teachers. They brought knowledge of the stars and the fundamental laws of creation. These stories whisper of beings, immense and powerful, yet patient and kind. Their legacy is a ghost, haunting the foundations of our earliest city, a half-remembered dream of a time when humanity was not alone in its infancy. The truth hides in plain sight, dismissed as myth. Across the desert sands, in the shadow of the great pyramids of Egypt, similar echoes resonate. Carvings depict figures with the heads of animals as symbols of cosmic authority and wisdom. Among them, the lion stands as a recurring motif of king's strength and divine connection. These were not mere allegories. They were memories faded and distorted over countless generations. It is a monument not just to a pharaoh, but to a forgotten covenant. It waits for the day we remember our true teachers, the guardians who watched over our cradle. These were the Lyrans. Their name is lost to our history, but their influence is woven into the very fabric of our ancient world. They came from a place far beyond our understanding, a system bathed in the cool, diffused light of a distant nebula. They recognized a familiar light in our nascent consciousness, a desire to reach for something greater. Their purpose was not to conquer or control, it was to guide, to gently nudge a young species toward its own magnificent destiny, ensuring the fragile flame of civilization would not be extinguished before it could truly burn. Their presence was a secret kept between the cosmos and the chosen few. They moved through the world like phantoms, their true forms veiled in shimmering energy. To the common person, they were gods walking among mortals. To the priests and scribes they tutored, they were masters of sacred geometry and celestial mechanics. They taught humanity how to build structures that aligned with the stars, how to map the heavens, and how to understand the unseen energies that flow through the universe. Their lessons were profound, shaping philosophies and religions for millennia to come, even after their name was forgotten. To behold a Lyran was to witness majesty given form. They stood tall and powerful, with humanoid bodies clad in ornate, yet functional armor that seemed forged from solidified starlight. They were leonine, crowned with magnificent manes that shimmered with ethereal energy, their golden eyes holding the wisdom of ages. Each Lyran was a warrior philosopher, exuding an aura of discipline, strength, and profound serenity. Their home was a vista of impossible beauty. Imagine a realm of floating crystalline citadels suspended in the silent heart of a swirling, violet nebula. Great archways opened to views of newborn stars and dying galaxies. Here, among structures built with perfect geometry, the Lyrans practiced their philosophy of balance. They were not rulers of an empire, but custodians of cosmic law. Their society was built on courage, discipline, and a deep understanding that all life, from the smallest microbe to the largest star, was interconnected in a delicate, universal dance. When they arrived on Earth, they did so with quiet purpose. Wide shots would show their silent, monolithic ships descending through the clouds, casting long shadows over primitive landscapes. They would walk through the early cities of Mesopotamia, their immense forms parting the crowds like ships through water. Yet there was no fear, their presence was calming, their authority absolute but gentle. They sought out the brightest minds, the most spiritual leaders, and began the slow, patient process of education, not with force, but with shared knowledge. These were not commands, they were gifts. They taught humanity how to build temples that were not just places of worship, but also cosmic resonator, harmonizing the Earth with the rhythms of the galaxy itself. The Lyrans' tenure on Earth was always meant to be temporary. They were gardeners, not permanent residents. Their departure was not an abandonment, but a necessary, painful step in the grand cosmic plan. The withdrawal was as quiet and mysterious as their arrival. There were no grand farewells, no final pronouncements recorded in our history books. As empires rose and fell, as languages changed and wars ravaged the lands, the direct knowledge of the Lyrans was lost. Their statues were torn down. The leonine guardians became sphinxes, griffins, and other mythological beasts. their advanced science was mistaken for magic. Humanity, left to its own devices, began to rewrite its own history, placing itself at the center of a universe it no longer fully understood. Yet, traces remain for those with eyes to see. They exist in the impossible precision of ancient stonework, in the recurring myths of civilizing gods found in cultures across the globe, and in the persistent human fascination with the stars. The Lyrans knew this would happen. Their disciplined philosophy prevents them from intervening directly in the struggles of a developing species. Humanity had to face its own darkness, its wars, its greed, its disregard for the planet that cradled it. The Lyrans watch, their leonine faces impassive, yet their golden eyes betray a deep philosophical sorrow for the pain, and a profound respect for the resilience they witness. They wait for a sign. That sign is not a signal beamed into space or a plea shouted at the heavens. No, it's a shift in consciousness. The Lyrans are waiting for the die humanity, collectively looks up at the stars not with a desire to conquer, but with a yearning to understand its place in the cosmic family. They wait for us to rediscover the principles of harmony and balance they once taught not from ancient texts, but from within ourselves. We will be sending the very signal they have been waiting for across the millennia. The question of our reunion is a haunting, open-ended melody. Will we be ready? Will we evolve past our self-destructive tendencies and mature into a species worthy of their guidance once more? Perhaps the next chapter of our story. But humanity's own ascent to the stars to meet them. Imagine a future where our explorers, journeying through a distant nebula, encounter a crystalline citadel. They would come face to face with the majestic Lyrans, not as primitive pupils, but as equals who have finally understood the ancient lessons. The final scene is not one of certainty but of profound and mysterious potential. The connection is not severed, only dormant. The Lyrans remain, their silent watch a testament to a faith we have yet to earn. The stars are filled with their echoes, but within the human heart. As we stand on our own future, the cosmos holds its breath and guardians wait patiently in the starlight, leaving us with the most important question: are we ready to remember who we are?